Hey everyone, I just wanted to do a quick video. I definitely didn't plan to do this video today, but I wanted to talk about the biggest news going on right now, and that's Stan Lee passed away at 95 today. As you probably noticed from my cover photo, I got a chance to meet Stan about 2 years ago. I met him around this time in November of 2016. And it was an event I was still in Las Vegas at the time, and they had this Avengers station at Treasure Island, and they had a chance to meet Stan Lee. And I just kind of figured I probably need to meet him at some point because I'll never get a chance to otherwise. So I stood in line and I waited for him, and it sold out. I mean, it was a free thing, but well, I don't know. Actually, I'm trying to think what the whole event was. It was 2 years ago, so just bear with me. But if anyone managed to go to that event, just let me know. I know it was with that Heroes for Change thing where it was the two hands like shaking hands, and I know there were some things about that. I don't want to get into that. Um, but I know I waited in line, and it was literally one of those times where you get cut off just before you get a chance to cross that threshold and you're in. I was right there, and I was like, I'd really like to meet him. Is there any way you can just fit one? Because sometimes they'll let single people through, and it's not like a group or a couple or three or four people. But yeah, I was kind of hoping my luck would hold out for that, but it didn't work out that way. And I was determined to actually meet him because I was supposed to do Vegas Comic Con where he was there, and I had actually gotten the tickets to meet and greet him, and couldn't do it. I had to work that day, and I was so upset. The missus got a chance to meet him, however, so at least one of us got to see him. But I really wanted to meet him. I just kind of had a feeling I needed to see him now, if anything. And well, it just didn't work out. And they said, well, I don't know. We can't tell you anything. Uh, you're welcome to wait around if you want. It probably won't do anything, but you're welcome to just in case. And he comes out and maybe you can at least say hi to him or something. So I waited and I waited, and it was one of those things. It was like early in the morning, and he was doing an all day signing. I think he was doing photos, and I think he was doing autographs, and it was that whole charity thing he was working on at the time, and it was just looking kind of grim. I mean, I actually like walked around for a while around the casinos. I went and had lunch. I just kind of figured this was going to be an all day thing. He was not coming out anytime soon. And eventually, it was towards the end of the day. It was like 5 or 6 or something, and it was wrapping up. And they're like, "Yeah, he's kind of tired. He's not going to come out the main way, but if you want to meet him, there is a way out back." So nobody else was tuned into this. I was really the only one who was actually staying around, hoping to just at least get a chance to say hi. So I went out on the strip, and they had the Avengers station. It was like a back door, and I waited and waited. And, at this point, I was like, I'm just wondering if I'm just spending too much time. I've spent my whole day off waiting for him to show up, and I don't have a guarantee he's even going to show up this thing. And I talked to the missus and I was like, maybe I should just come home. And she was like, no, you've come this far and you're going to hate yourself if you miss him. So I decided to stay, and sure enough, a few minutes later, he didn't come through the casino. He didn't come through the front end of the Avenger station or anything like that. He came out this back door on the strip, and he was in that little scooter of his. And I said, "Hi, Mr. Lee. You've been one of my main icons growing up. Would it be okay if I got a picture with you?" And you could tell it's been a long day for him. I mean, he's like 93 at that point, so it was probably an incredibly long day for him, and I'm sure he was tired and ready to go. But sure enough, he stopped and took a picture with me, and his bodyguard took a picture, and he was real nice. And as I said, I didn't want to take too much of his time because you could tell he was tired and he just wanted to go home. But sure enough, I got to meet Stan Lee, and he was just a really nice guy. And even though he had a long day, he still took a moment to stop and smile and talk to me just for a few moments and take a picture with me. And I was so excited when that happened. It's hard to believe that Stanley's gone. I mean, I guess it's not too much of a shock in the sense that he was 95, but I've grown up Stanley. Everything from Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends on Saturday morning to he do narrations in video games, and of course all his cameos in all the different Marvel movies. It didn't really even matter what studio it was related to. He'd always managed to make a cameo in something. And I'm sure that they probably filmed a couple extra, just in case for upcoming films, probably him doing whatever, I don't know, eating a cheeseburger or just getting the mail or saying hi to the hero or whatever, but I'm sure he's got a couple in the backlog. So I'm thinking we're going to get a chance to see Stan in at least a small handful of movies from here. But then one day we're not going to anymore, and Stanley will not, he won't be there in Marvel movies anymore. And that's kind of, I think the first time it's going to happen, I think that's really when it's going to hit. I'm real grateful to Stanley. He actually was very influential on a lot of things in my life, especially Spider-Man. I know he and Steve Ditko worked on that, but Spider-Man was one of my most influential ones, and certainly X-Men was my other big. But he was there for the bulk of the Marvel universe. He helped create all the big ones that have remained part of Marvel's core for decades now. And I'm just sorry to see him go. I really am. But at the same time, I know that he's had a good life, I think. At 95, not too many people get to say they get to make it up to 95. Not too many people get to say that they changed the face of American entertainment the way he did. He was absolutely an icon. And it's kind of funny. I read a quote somewhere earlier today because a lot of people are posting it on social media. And he just talked about how, all these people were doctors and going out there making these big changes in the world. And he didn't really think he was doing anything. And yet, when it came to the face of entertainment, he absolutely did. So I'm sorry he's gone. I'm sad. I really am. It's just the fact that he's not going to be around anymore. And like I said, there's just going to come a point where Marvel movies are going to happen and he's not there. But at the same time, I'm pretty grateful that he got to be around as long as he was and got to change so many things as he did. And I'm certainly glad for that November afternoon in 2016 where I got to meet him and say thank you. And I looked at that picture today and I thought about just that day where I spent all day in the cold on the strip and inside Treasure Island, just kind of waiting, not even thinking I was going to get that much. And he was a nice guy. I'm glad, even though, I missed that one paid opportunity all those years ago, I just got a chance to run into him on the street and say, thanks for everything. In any case, I just wanted to take a moment and, just kind of reflect on today while it was still fresh in my mind and while the feelings are still kind of processing. I think it'll probably hit me harder later, but right now I'm just kind of, you accept it, but you don't, but you kind of do. It's one of those weird phases. And anyway, I just want to take a moment to say thank you to Stan Lee, and he couldn't have put it better himself. Excelsior. Take care, you guys.